Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the 10-Minute Book Talk, where three best-selling authors talk all things bookish with you for 10 short and sweet minutes every week. I'm your host today, Rachel Linden, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hostesses, Marie Bostwick, give a little wave, Marie, and Katherine Reay. There we go, wearing a fabulous blouse we all want today.
Really?
And today, we have such a joy. We are coming with Kate Bromley, who has not yet appeared on this show. And we are going to talk about her adorable, adorable new romantic comedy, CIAO FOR NOW. And as the title can sort of indicate, there's an Italian aspect. So I got to read this book for endorsement, and I was one of the lucky ones that got it early, and I just devoured it. It was an absolute joy. I looked forward to reading it every night before bed, and it was just sort of like a little treat. It's everything you want in a romantic comedy. Fun, flirty, great location, lovely, compassionate characters you're rooting for, and good conflict, good life problems. And it's a romantic comedy. We know that happy things happen, but I won't say anything more. So Kate, tell us about your book.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for your kind words, first of all. But CIAO FOR NOW, it is a contemporary romantic comedy. It follows my main character, Violet, who is about to graduate from fashion design school. She's at the top of her class. She's a bit of an older student. She's almost 30. Her life kind of went off course, but now she is laser focused on her career and pursuing her dreams. So she and two of her classmates are selected to take part in an internship in Rome, where they will be working at an Italian label, but they'll also be creating their own collections on the side as they're competing for a job back in New York. So on Violet's very first day, she has a coffee run gone terribly wrong when she crashes into a brooding TV writer, and she destroys his laptop. So they start off on a terrible foot and they think that's that, but then wouldn't you know it, Matt turns out to be the son of the professor that she'll be staying with while they're in Rome. So there she is, trying to focus on her dream and her internship, and all the while she has to contend with her animosity and very inconvenient chemistry with Matt.
Nice. Sounds yummy.
There we go. Did I say it in one breath? There we go.
You did a great job. That's encapsulated it beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, Kate, the year before last, my daughter studied for an entire year of architecture in Rome, and I fell in love with that city. Traveled there a few times, absolutely loved it. What is your connection? What drew you to that incredible, eternal setting?
It is just so magical. The first time I went to Rome, I was in college. I was almost finished, and I went to study there, and I studied Italian for 4 weeks in the summer. Wow. And I just so fell in love with the setting and with everything. It was my first time really away from my family. It was my first time in a different country, and I was so nervous. But then as soon as I got there, I was just so wrapped up in the history and the architecture and the food. And it was all just so wonderful. And then I wound up going back again on my honeymoon, and my husband had never been there. So I got to show him all my favorite spots and take him to Capri, which one of my characters go to at one point. And it just has such a warm, special place in my heart. And, you know, when you're sitting down about to write a book, you think really, where do I want to spend the next year? Because that's where you are. So it was like, no brainer. I'm going to Rome.
Love that.
Man. And lucky readers that they get to go to Rome too. I mean, really. This book and that cover, by the way, I want to dive into that cover. This is gonna look so good with your swimsuit and side. It's the perfect accessory. So you're gonna want to get that book. But
thank you so much. I love it. The Vespa, everything.
Just gorgeous. So I like the whole fashion thing, right? Is so amazing and so interesting, and a world that, like, who doesn't have curiosity about that and want to dive into that? So that's such a wonderful aspect to this book. But like, is that something you knew about? Did you have a connection to the fashion world, and particularly the Italian fashion world? And if you didn't, how did you learn about that? How was
the research was extensive, way more so than with my first two books. You know, I thought like, oh, I would just research it and then I'll understand it after a while. I researched it for so many months, and like, I still feel like I'm like barely grasping like fashion design. It is so difficult and so involved. I was lucky enough that I have a friend who's a designer, so I was able to pick her brain a lot. And while I definitely by no stretch consider myself fashionable, you know, I'm like sweaters, sweatpants, like that's all I wear, but I've always been super drawn to and obsessed with fashion design shows. Like I have watched every single show there is out there. So I've always been like drawn into that world, even though I never really felt, you know, like I was necessarily a part of it, but I was always drawn to it. And my nonna was a seamstress her whole life. So I would always go with my nonna and pick her up from work, and we would get to go in the back of the bridal shop, and the sewing machines, you know, there would be buzzing and everyone would be in there so friendly, and they would try to teach me how to sew and let me use the machine. So I just have such warm memories, you know, when I think of sewing. And she taught me the basics, like how to hem and things like that, but she would always make us our Halloween costumes, and she'd make clothes for our dolls. And so again, just things that bring me back to a happy place, a happy time in my life. And it was just so much fun researching and learning every day.
Well, readers are going to have fun reading and learning. So that's
I did. I
hope so.
promise you will. Okay, Kate, I want to ask, sort of pulling back, not just about the book, but about, so you're writing in the romantic comedy genre, which I love. If I'm going to take something on a plane or on a vacation, it's like a treat. I feel like rom-coms are my treat. And I love that you have this just great chemistry, but you're a little more discreet. It's not super, super, super spicy, so I don't have to blush with my kids sitting next to me on the plane. So I appreciate a more discreet read. And I'm just curious, what is drawing you to romantic comedies, and what are you hoping that readers walk away with from this book and your other books?
Well, I was always definitely drawn to like romantic comedy movies. You know, growing up, I always loved them. And I got huge into reading right before I went into college. I wasn't a big reader. And then my mom was like, you should come to the library with me. Like, there's a section that like, I think you're going to be into it, because you're always just told what to read, you know, your whole life. I think I saw reading as a chore, but I was just at home watching all these rom-coms. Then my mom was like, no, I have something for you. So we went to the library, off I went to the romance section, and I was just blown away. I was like, I can't believe this exists. This is amazing. And I like, I think for 5 years, I was just in a constant state of reading. Like I always had a book on me, because you'd find one author and they would have like 20 books of like, you know, I started off with historical romance, and it's all, everyone's related. You go through the family tree of like everyone finding their person. And it was just such a delight. So I knew I wanted to write romance. But I also wanted to make people laugh. You know, I wanted to have like a ton of like silly situations, and I like love stories where like the love is very joyful and very playful, and I was just kind of drawn in the romantic comedy direction. That was just kind of where I fell when I thought, if I could write anything, like what would my book be? And that's just what it was. And I hope readers just take, you know, like a fun little escape. Life is so stressful, and this, I hope, could just be a little vacation, a little time away where they could just think about, you know, this beautiful city and love and fun. And that's basically it.
Oh my goodness.
Espresso, pasta, love, all that, all the essentials.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, Kate, we have one question that we ask all of our authors, and it is, what is bringing you joy today?
What's bringing me joy today is a few minutes ago, I got home from Mommy and Me with my 1-year-old, and he is out. He's taking a really good nap.
Yes.
So that's bringing me joy today. He had such a great time, and now he's got the monitor right here, and now he is out like a light.
That is, yeah. At that age, naps bring
Nap
you
time.
so much joy. Yes.
Yes.
We all remember those. We remember those days. Well, Kate, thank you so much. Can you hold your beautiful book up again?
Absolutely.
So readers, if you are looking for a fun, delicious romantic comedy set in Rome, all the food, all the fashion, all the feelings, definitely grab Ciao for Now. And Kate, thank you so much for being with us. It has been a total pleasure to chat with you. We wish you massive success on your book. We're so excited. And readers and viewers, tune in next week for more 10-minute book talk fun.
See you then.
Thank you.